Okay, so I think we are live. Let me just see. I should be live. Yes, we're live. So hello to anyone or everyone who is watching. Give me 1 second and I get myself together here. Okay, so it is Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. Anyway, we are live on Facebook on a Saturday night. How crazy is this? So I'm going to share out the link for anyone. You may not even want to talk business. You know, you may not even want to get your head into your business tonight. But if you want to come on and have a casual conversation about your business, where it's going, you know, anything kind of like that, and kind of take it easy. So I'm just going to share, give me 1 minute. I'm going to share a link with the Facebook Live. Right, we're very snazzy here tonight now. Let me see. Okay, just seeing a screenshot of myself. How terrible. Online stars. Okay, so tonight I am doing a free coaching session, which I don't know if Saturday night, 9 o'clock is a good time, but I kind of said, hey, if you are like me, you might be free. I'm free tonight. I'm live on this free business coaching session. Use this link to join the hot seat. Okay, so I've just put that up. Let me just see. I may not have anyone at all joining me live on participants. So no one so far. A few people have registered, but hey, no one joined. That's okay. So a couple of things that I just going to talk about while we wait for a few people to join. And if no one joins, that's fine too. That means I can finish my tea and go watch a movie on a Saturday night. So I was at the Enterprise Town in Oranmore, which was, wow, really, really good. It was on last week. It was on in Athenry last week where I live. And I have to say, wow, it was really, really good as well. Great turnout in Athenry, great support for the local businesses and to see the amount of local businesses. So a couple of things, I'm going to just maybe give small little tips on a couple of different things while we wait for a couple of different people to join. So who do we have? We have Niall. Niall, in the chat box, can you just tell me about your website, your business, what you do? Have you any questions? And do you want to come on the hot seat? Just while I talk away here and you can answer that. And I can promote you to panelist if it is appropriate question. So at the Enterprise Town today, a couple of things that really stood out to me was first of all, the amount of businesses that turned out, the atmosphere. And I did, as I said, the Enterprise Town in Athenry last week. And I just thought, my God, you know, it was really, really good. But to be honest, I haven't really done, because I do most of my stuff online, I wasn't really 100% ready, I have to say, for like a stand. Like I have roll-ups, but I'm in the middle of rebranding, so I didn't have stuff ready. So if you are going to do a trade show, what are the things that you need? So Niall is after disappearing. So anyway, so what are the things that you need? So a couple of different things that I'd seen from different people today that I thought were good. So definitely a pop-up or roll-up or whatever it is, you know, those big tall things that stand at your stand. Preferably two if you can, to kind of position it. Then also make sure if you're getting your roll-up designed, that I saw today one business, all of the important information was down at the bottom of the roll-up. Get your website and your contact number or whatever the important information for your business is, get it up at the top. So that was that. Another thing then, a couple of people had it, they had, I don't have it here now, but basically they had clipboard and sheet of paper, enter your email, to win a competition for a free consultation or product or service or whatever. And if your customer isn't the people coming in, and if your customer is the other stands, take a break and go around to the other stands. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 would be possibly to have some sweets at your stand or have some food, and just maybe be sure that your message is on display. So there was one company that were there today, great architecture company. Don't have their name with me now, I can't remember it. But they had a big board behind that literally just said their name, and the rest of the board, now it wasn't blank, it did have a drawing on the back of it. But I just thought, what a waste space. They could put their packages and services on it. I was helping and supporting my friend today, Maureen O'Reilly from More Pure, and one of the things actually that Maureen unfortunately didn't have with her was her, her packages and services. The same with the architect. And the thing is that we often think that some of these services are basically possibly too expensive, out of your price range, maybe something you can't afford, maybe you think business is too small to afford this. And I know definitely from my own experience working with Maureen, having Pure is essential for a business, and it's a great step up in your own business, understanding your story and getting someone else to write it for you, because sometimes someone else can write a story better than you can, especially your own story, because someone else will blow your trumpet better than you can. So those were the couple of lessons that I had today. Yeah, so it was really good. So what would I do if I was going to a trade show again? The other thing as well is make sure, and I did it last week actually, I didn't do it today yet. Make sure if you're going to a trade show for your business or attending the Bank of Ireland Enterprise Town, which was on in Ireland. So actually, if you're not from Ireland, basically the Enterprise Town is where one of the banks is going around to an amount of small towns, setting up in a school and bringing all the small businesses from the town into the school hall to display basically what's going on in that area for business. So if you have a trade show, or if you're attending a trade show, or if you're attending a networking event, I'd love you to one thing. Here's a bit of, this is all just free mentoring because I said I'd come on here live. We haven't anyone actually joining me yet. I think I'm sad and lonely. Okay, so if you are, do I have a notebook here? Yeah. Okay, so if you are attending, going to, if you're hosting a show, what I would advise you to do is to get a blank page, and this is really technical stuff now here. Really technical. Okay. 3 columns. Okay. So you're going to have your pre-event, and your post-event. So you are going to create a strategy, basically. What's your pre-event strategy leading up to your show, your event, your trade show, whatever it is? What's your event strategy, and then what's your post-event strategy, right? Now, I would use something much bigger than that page. I like to use, I have them, don't have them near me right now, but I like to use big cards. And what I would do is, right, okay, so then who are the people you want to come? How can you target them? How can you get them talking? What kind of conversations can you get going? What hashtags do you want them to use pre the event, so that when they know and when they come to the event that you can, they're already using the hashtags. You get the conversation started before the event. Oh, hey, I see Donna is here. Donna, will you just type in the chat box if you would like to come on and talk about your business, and if you have a question, you're very welcome. So, sorry, it is the end of the day here, and it is a Saturday night. So that's the one piece of advice that I would give. and try to maximize once the event is over. How can you maximize on your strategy after the event? Yeah, so there's 3 other. That's another little tip for you. Let me see, what else did I see there today? What else did I see there today? Yeah, one thing actually was, wherever you're hosting the event, try and get a visual from the road. Now, this may not be possible if you're holding in a hotel or something like that, but if it is something where you're expecting foot traffic to come into your event, definitely when it was held in Athenry last week, it was very obvious from the road where it was on. Unfortunately, I felt today that in or in Moore, a lot of people were going past Moore and they didn't know that this was on, passing the street. So anyway, that's just a bit of a by the by. Let me see what else. Donna, would you be willing? I don't want to bring it on, Donna, unless you're willing. So if you could chat, let me see if you can put it in the chat box. I'll try. Just let me know, Donna, if you type in the chat box that I'm just gonna want to. Hi, Martha. Yes, please. Right. Okay. Thanks. Sorry. The reason I have to do this is to make sure that. So I'm just promoting you to panelist. Hopefully, all is okay. I've done this before in the past, and sometimes you don't know who you're going to get. Hello, Anna. Can you hear me? Hang on. Oh, hang on. I have to unmute you. Hang on a second. Let me see. I can unmute audio. Hello.
Hi, Martha. How are you?
Oh, great. Thanks for joining me. I was here in my own lonesome. Saturday night, I think everyone is busy, but that's okay. I just said I would try this and see if it was a good time to go. But hey, so Donna, do you want to tell us all about your business and what you're doing, and where are you right now?
Okay, well, I have working with 2 businesses at the moment.
Okay.
One of them is food services business, and I go into food companies and I help them with their technical and new product development. I suppose if I go into a company and maybe they don't have enough resource, so I can help them with their creating new products or running projects. The other thing,
I know the last day you spoke to me, it was really interesting actually. I think this would be really useful for the enterprise office, because they're big food, the food academy and all that kind of stuff. But you were saying the last day that a lot of businesses, they don't realize the amount of paperwork that they need to get through, and you obviously have all that experience. I think that probably comes as a big shock to them, especially when they're so busy doing their business, to have all of this paperwork on top of them.
Yeah, I suppose, Martha, it's not really even just paperwork. It's actually legislation that they have to comply to. And I would say that a lot of food business owners, they may know that these legislative documents all they may know of them, but they may not have been through them with fine tooth combs. And the problem is, if you don't understand them, and if you don't know that you actually have to comply with them, then the risk is that you get a visit from your EHO, and all of a sudden you realize that you don't have documentation in place, or you get listed by a retailer and you suddenly find that you're ready to launch and then you need to have all the documentation in place.
And you don't get it done in time, probably.
No, and it's amazing how many people actually go as far as getting their packaging actually printed without actually getting somebody to look over it and look at, you know, every statement on packaging is a legal statement. And once you put it...
Wow, it's really important, actually. Wow.
Yeah, so once you put it out into the marketplace, you're leaving both you and your company wide open to being prosecuted, really, if your information is incorrect. So it's really important for food business owners to understand what they need to comply with. And then, you know...
Because I imagine people think, oh, I'm just going to do my branding and get the branding and spend all of this money and forget, to be honest, I imagine a lot of people never even thought that what's on their package is a legal statement.
Yeah, and you know, branding is so important. It's so important to a new product. Branding can actually either help a product to succeed or help a product to fail if companies get it wrong. But
are you involved in that side, Donna?
Do you know what? Over the years, I have been involved in so many projects with so many new products. And I have been particularly worked with the packaging side and design side. So whilst I wouldn't say that I am a marketing branding person per se, I would have a lot of experience in it.
Probably what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen a lot of stuff. It'd be interesting actually to do a blog on products that worked and products that didn't work, you know. And I imagine sometimes, like, you see these things, my kids are after getting them today, these bloody products, the fidget spinners. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
I only heard of them 2 days ago and they're all over the place. Like, what makes one thing just take off? So I can imagine some really interesting blogs and things to write about there, you know, your years of experience and what you've done. And tell me then, you were saying then you've two businesses. That's one.
Yes. So the other business then is I'm partnered with the beauty company.
Beauty, yes, the new.
So it's beauty, health and well-being. So lots of variety of products, and it's a network marketing company.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're live here, and this is a public forum as well. Just to remind you that it's being streamed to the 9 Stars group as well. Just to make you aware, in case you know, so in case you do know. So from your product point of view, so from your business point of view, then percentage-wise, time, would 80% be on the food services?
Yeah, I would say at this moment in time about 80%.
Okay. And if service-wise, then, let's say, what would be, because I remember you were saying you were working, and we won't say now, but you do a days with companies, and so you go into particular companies and work on their legislation?
Yeah, so basically every retailer would have a food specification, technical and legal specification that has to be filled in for each product by each company. So I would work on all the different formats, and they are all different, and they all have maybe different systems that they work on. So I would have a great knowledge of the different retailer systems.
Okay.
Obviously, EU legislation is the same regardless of what country you're in the EU or what retailer company that you're working with. But the retailer company may have other policies that they want you to comply to as well.
Okay.
So it's important to have that sort of knowledge.
Okay, policy as well. It's DMC Food Services. That's your website, isn't it?
Yep. It's DMC Food Services, but the company is actually DEMC Food Services.
DEMC, is it?
Yeah.
DEMC Food Services. There we go. .com. Sorry, I'm just looking up your website here. Okay, so I think I popped onto this the other day. I'm just going to share my screen, if that's okay. Share my screen. Just get this first now. Where's your website gone to? Okay. Sorry there. Okay, here we go. I'm just bringing a full screen up. And gotta share this here. Bam, bam, bam. Joy of technology. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, so let's just have a quick review of this while we're on. Okay, so straight away. So let's just see if this is. I'm gonna go okay for mobile. So if I bring it to, yeah, okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, so so home, about, contact, blog. So first of all, I would reorder your menu. I would put the services, like these are down as like services packages or like the end. I would reorder that. I would have services packages and your blog last. I would, do you have a guide that does website stuff here?
Not incredibly. My daughter and I built this website together.
Okay. Well, great. Did you do it in WordPress?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know then about changing the menu and just reordering it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If possible, I would also try and add social. Do you have any social media platforms at the moment?
I do, Martha. I have a Facebook page,
okay.
But I haven't been incredibly active on it lately.
Okay, well that's okay. So you've got Facebook. I would definitely Twitter feels right for you, I think.
Yeah, okay, I actually sorry, I am on Twitter as well.
Are you? Okay, so
yeah.
Definitely. And have you used channel by any chance?
Have I what? Sorry?
A YouTube channel?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I will create a YouTube channel. And because I could really see this, let me see. So I would change the menu of the order around. Just back up page. We'll just do a quick look on each one. Okay, so they are beautiful, very nice photo. Okay, great. And you have a video, very good, excellent. Okay, so that is good. Just a quick look at there. What I would probably have here is an email opt-in box at the end where people can opt in to contact you, and definitely on the home page. So, okay, so your homepage I would definitely change. It's about really thinking about, okay, so what is your strategy? What are you selling? So you're selling consultancy, but I feel, Donna, to be honest, I think you possibly have a really good potential for a great product. What I could see you doing is, I'm gonna, just so that I can see you over here. Sorry, so I know who I'm talking to. So the way I could kind of see this going is that you would maybe categorize your customers, right? When you look back at the current customers that you have, and the best customers that you've had, and also a lot of the emerging industries, not emerging industries, but emerging industry, businesses in this food industry, who there is a line of how would you say, service that you provide, right? So there's the beginner businesses. Then there's the likes of the bigger businesses that need legislation across different countries, right? So you have the beginner businesses who are starting out in Ireland, right? So I imagine that would be a base package that you could provide for them.
Yeah.
And I imagine that that's a generic package in a way that there's a core element that's generic. Would that be right?
Yeah. If you actually go onto the services tab,
okay,
you can see the different services there, or the different packages that I was thinking about.
Okay.
So if you go to packages.
Oh, am I gonna packages?
Just at the end, yeah.
Oh, okay. So packages. Company package. Okay. So this is where an hour consultation, product recipe review, ingredient statement review, process review for, okay. So I think even before this, that basically, so what you're doing is you're educating people on how to build a food that complies with legislation process. And so I imagine that there is an educational product that you could create online, right? That would be literally what you were telling me there. For, let's say, for example, right, we meet up and I haven't a clue. I am as green as grass outside. And I said, Donna, I'm thinking of starting a food business, but I haven't a clue. Where do you think I should start, right? And what I would do then, but me being you, is I would begin to take notes of what would be the conversation we'd have. What would happen in the first conversation? You tell me about, oh, well, okay, this would be the first thing I do, and then this would be the second thing. And then we meet maybe another week later, and we have the same conversation. And like a lot of the things that you have a potential of selling here is basically an educational online program that could be a passive income for you, right? And so basically people could buy the baseline package from you that basically educates them before they even start. As you said, before they get their branding done, before they're gone past the point when it's too late. So this would be, what would we call it? Get your, I'm trying to think of a good name. New product process, legislation, package design. Sorry, I can't think of a name off the top of my head, but basically a product that new people to the food business need to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can then upsell if they want a private one-to-one with you. So yeah. I would put that as the so this is the packages. This, like packages here, this is actually one-to-one packages, right? And I would also say as well that these, like you see the software I'm using here, like this, you can do this online. You don't have to actually meet people in person. So yeah. It could be globally. It could be, you have EU legislation, and you probably have other countries as well. So state the countries that you're familiar with their legislation, and say, look, this can be an online service. And I really feel that what you've written here isn't even enough. I did a session with a business one time, and she literally just had a couple of things written, and she really was taking an awful lot for granted that people knew what they were getting. And I feel the same thing's happening with you here, like ingredient statement review. Like, think of someone who hasn't a clue, right? What does ingredient statement review mean? I think you could make this, like, write this out as though you are talking to your mother, right? And actually kind of, like, each one of these packages nearly needs to be a little bit of a sales page, because you want to sell the package. What's the benefit of someone having this? How will it save them money if they get this package, and when in their business do they need it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Does that make sense?
I think you're right, Martha. I think when I was writing these, I think what I was trying to do, I was trying to make it beneficial to the end user. And you're right, the assumption was there that they actually knew quite a bit of this information already and actually knew what they needed.
Yeah, but
I have worked with some startup companies, and we've literally had to go right back to the basics.
Yeah.
Even things like, you know, I suppose I'm so familiar with things like allergens, and it's amazing, really. I find it amazing that the people who are trying to start up food businesses still actually don't understand all of the allergens that are, that they have to label. And even, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland just literally sent out a report last week of a number of food businesses that still do not comply.
Really?
Yeah, and it's
okay.
And that would be say maybe food restaurants, cafes, that sort of thing. But
And what does that mean, right? If a food industry does not comply, what does that mean? Does that mean that they do they get fined? Do they?
Yeah, I suppose at best they get fined, and they get time to actually to comply. But at worst, they get shut down.
Wow. Okay.
And they still get fined, but they get shut down, and their business closes. So I suppose that's why it's so important for them to actually understand what the information that they need to know.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so so this is where I think your packages and services really needs to really needs just a little bit of work. And I think what you are probably missing here, what I feel is like food consultancy. Again, this is probably more to the more industry, would it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so what I feel here is that even though I know this is a startup and this is like food I just feel that retailer specific packages. I think you probably could have a few different packages for the startup. I would have them maybe divided out a little bit better because, and I would have here with your free consultation, 30 minutes, I would have an opt-in or book me. You can use a couple of different apps. One that I use is called Acuity Scheduling. It's free up until a certain point, or there's another one called You Can Book Me. And basically you can embed these into your website and people can just actually schedule time with you. Or if you want to even make it easier, you could use a Google form. Have you ever used Google Forms?
Yeah.
So you could embed a Google form there that they fill out and you contact them then. That's actually one of the easiest things to do. I feel that this needs retailer specific packages, 2-day package, completion of retailer specifications, 3-day pack. I think it just needs more time. What are they getting? What are the benefits? What are you saving them? What is the implication of not having this done? Preliminary label compliance review package. You have the guts of your packages here. I think now what you can do is build on the foundation, and just kind of like nearly tear it apart and put it back together again. I think what you are missing is the clarity of your customer and what they need and the language they're speaking. But again, I think a little bit of time and you would have this nailed, you know. Okay, so that's your packages. Okay, so have you anything on the blog? Okay. Oh, look. Oh, great. So do you review different? Are these?
Yeah, different products, different.
Yeah.
So basically, what I was doing when I was starting this was I wanted to review new innovation, interesting products out in the marketplace.
Okay. Very good. And that's a great way of getting advertising for yourself as well.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've been in contact with a lot of these companies who have come back to say thanks for doing the product review, and invitations to actually go down to their companies and meet them.
Fantastic.
Well.
Great. Well done. Well done. The only thing that I have to say, I'm not 100% gone on the font.
Okay.
Now that is just me, but I feel, yeah, it's nearly medieval type. And I think when you think about your branding, you know, what are you trying to say? You know, you want clean. You know, when you think of the food industry, you want clean, neat. Well, obviously it's neat, but yeah, that's just a personal opinion. I'm not a branding person at all or anything like that, but yeah,
it's probably a little bit of me coming out there.
It really, yeah. Okay, well, and that's okay too, right? Like, this is your business, right? And just see here. Okay, context. Okay, I would put a CAPTCHA in there, if you know how to do that. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of bots sending you crazy messages.
Okay.
And your about page. Okay. Launch legally. Okay, so the home page I would change in that. So when people come to your homepage, you need to make it super clear that I would possibly maybe have underneath your banner photo. I'm not too gone on that. DMC Food Services. So I'd possibly have a banner with maybe one word of like a message about, so you have food consultancy, maybe the different things that you do, or maybe a word that's specific to the, like saving you time, saving you money, and getting your business out there faster, or something like, you know, what's your mission statement? What's your, you know, what's your tagline? Yeah. You know, that kind of.
Yeah, I suppose what I had was creating a food. You see, if you just go down, scroll down a little bit there, creating a food safety culture together.
Okay, so that's great. However, people who are in business, yes, they want food safety, but is that what they really want?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. But they probably want to get their food out there, helping you getting your food out there, sharing your business, getting your, you know, so when you think about the different customers, they have to do this legislation, they have to do this process, because yes, it will keep everyone safe. I would, so hang on, what I would possibly do, creating a food safety culture together so that you can get your business, you know. So I have a process of getting a mission statement together, actually, I am doing, I think you probably saw my emails, I'm doing the Maximise Your Income course next week, and we'll be covering that on it. Okay, so what I would do on your homepage here is I would have underneath your banner photo, I would have an opt-in, and we'll talk about what that opt-in will be for in a minute. But I would possibly create maybe 3 boxes: a startup, online product, startup, consultancy, and industry, or something like that. So the way in which you're working at the moment is basically taking a lot of your time when you're going to meet businesses. So the things that I would change for you straight away is doing online. Now, I know you probably do need to go to businesses sometimes, but it's possible that you can do some of your work online. So I would start using this application that I'm using, which is Zoom. Zoom is $14.99 a month. Now, this is actually the webinar that I'm actually using, but it's the Zoom, the cheaper one would actually do you. Or you could use Skype, which is free. And yeah, so I would add in there with your services, your online services. I would also think about how you could package what you're doing into an online program and create different levels of programs for different levels of your customers. And
I definitely,
yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Martha. What I was going to say is, I've known since at least probably the middle of last year that I need to create programs, because when we were discussing in the telephone call, I know that it can be cost prohibitive for some startup companies.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, right? Because what you'll actually be able to do is reach more businesses at a cost that's affordable to them.
I think so, and I think for startup companies, sometimes they need to be pointed in the right direction. And at startup, they may need a certain amount of help, and then they need to do. I would be very much of the opinion that the best way to learn is to do a lot of this work yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have someone that can support you in that work, which is me, if you have someone that can support you and point you in the right direction, then you can come back to that person for tailor-made bespoke programs or bespoke documentation.
Yeah, totally.
But sometimes when you're just at that startup stage, there is a lot of common ground between a lot of the startup companies. So that's where I think there are programs. Also, I think there's a great need for new product development, and actually with students. Students get out of college, and I've interviewed a lot of students in my time, and it's amazing how many students do really poorly at their first interviews for food companies.
Really? Wow. Well, there's a mentoring role that you could include in this.
Yeah.
So you could even put that in your services, food service coaching for food. Would it be food technologists or food scientists?
Yeah, food technologists, really.
Yeah. So what I think the two biggest areas that I would work on your website would be the homepage, and I think what you need to get in alignment with is when someone comes onto your website, depending on who they are, because you have the two different criteria, let's just say, for example, you create the basic program for startups. A lot of the time when we're looking at creating, so the problem for them is getting over the hump of understanding what they need to get over, right?
Yeah.
So what they probably would like, first of all, is a checklist. What are the things that a startup needs? So you could say, download your checklist here of to help you get over the hump, like literally use their language, right? Maybe that's my language. So anyway, we're just brainstorming here. Obviously, we would change this, right? So download your checklist. So straight away, you have a list of people who are interested in, who are that category, right? So I would have an opt-in there for that. I would clarify graphically. I have a couple of numbers of some graphic designers. I would clarify, even just like you could even use Canva, put 3 boxes on the top, you know, online programs, startups, food industry, so that they know straight away. So like, to be honest, seeing paragraphs of text, I think you could lay this out much better. And what I'd also include possibly is a few of your blogs underneath here. So I'd put your freebie opt-in, clarify when people come to here straight away, like that food image, to be honest, that really doesn't say anything to me. I would just kind of, without some kind of message, you could have a banner there with some messages going across, you know, the services you and I wouldn't even focus on the services, but the benefits of hiring your company. Now, so that is just basically a very, very quick. So what could you do straight away to maximize your income right now? So let's go back to your services again. Okay. Okay, I would get rid of this. Yeah, okay. I think you just need one page, like work with me, take away services and packages and make it one, because I think the two of them, it's a bit of redundancy.
Okay.
And you're having people hop on 2 pages. So I would change either, yeah.
And would you change it to work with me?
Would I, maybe packages, leave it packages maybe, or services. No, packages isn't even that clear. Work with me. Yeah, possibly work with me. Services, or you could leave it services. Yeah, so the services would be one-to-one, online, or consultancy for your industry. So maybe leave it services. I would just have it one, whatever you feel it works the best. Packages. And I think then, okay, so let's see how you could maximize your income straight away. Food consultancy, startup company package. So what I would add on here, startup company package, is I would create an ebook, I would create a video, and I would add the value onto that straight away, of that when they do the starter package, they get the online course with it. And this is literally record one video and just start talking. And this is you just starting off, and I mean the very basic of starting off. So that would be one way to maximize income on that package. I would also put down here your starter package. You could definitely, I would have three different offers. You only have one offer. So I would have your basic offer of your 1 hour, but then I would have your next offer, which would be maybe like €500. I would put here 3 different offers, so that people would then decide which one they wanted. And they would be 2 of the key things that I do. I think there's so many different packages here. We'd have to review them completely separately. Yeah, but there is loads of room for a review here. Yeah, like you have a great business, because Ireland is really in the food industry right now, that it's unbelievable. Okay, so how does all that sound, Donna?
That sounds great. I suppose it brings back the importance of reviewing your website. I think because a lot of my business comes from word of mouth.
Yeah.
That maybe I've taken my eye off the ball regarding my website.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's hard to do it all. I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. I think basically now that you're becoming more online savvy, that sorry, someone just asked to join there. Now that you're becoming more online savvy, then now is the time. So, at least you have a website, you have Facebook, you have Twitter. So it's onwards from now, I think you have so much potential online, to be honest. It is, yeah. I mean, and the fact that you have EU legislation as well is, you are on a winning game, my friend, on a winning game.
I think sometimes the problem is, one of the problems that I've faced probably in the last few years is trying to, there's so many things that a new startup company or any food business needs to know. And I think because I have all my years experience in different fields within the food industry, that what happens is it's quite difficult for me to actually add clarity to which services I should offer.
Yeah.
And I think that's because when you can offer quite a few.
Yeah. But I think as well, probably what you need is your overall plan for the year. Which services you're going to target, what's your plan for each month, and when you are clearer then on your customer, you will understand how you're going to target them, how you're going to get the word out to them, and how you're actually going to begin to shine yourself in your business and talk about what you do. Like do more videos, do more Facebook Lives, invite, create a free food business industry Facebook group where industries can come and talk about their problems. You can be their agony aunt. I don't mean your agony aunt, but you know what I mean? You could create a free group to kind of build relationships, build up that industry, food network, so that they get benefits of food networking, talking about incredible things about, so I would see you as a mentor, yes, as a food technologist, but also a business mentor, because you've seen so much in the past as well. So it's not just, because you probably don't even realize the amount of different advice that you give people that possibly isn't even food technology. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose over the years as well, I have mentored so many different students coming into the industry, young technologists just starting out in their careers, and many of which I am still really good friends with, at this point. And they've, some of them have gone on to really great careers in lots of different companies all over Ireland. Some of them have moved to the UK. So yeah, definitely there is mentoring there that could be done.
Completely, yeah. Completely. So I think, yeah, you have incredible opportunity. I think building a free Facebook group would be great. And I'm just putting this up here for you and for anyone who's watching this. As of Monday, we are starting the Maximise Your Income in 4 weeks, where we're going to be reviewing your customer, your product, your strategy. So basically, for anyone who's watching this, if you want to go to marthafraser.com/business-clarity-program, I'll put the link underneath this. It's going to be a very small group because this is the first time I'm running it. And we are going to basically cover this little testimonial. So your business vision, and the importance of, I think for you, Donna, is being very clear on where you want to go with this, with your business, being very clear on let's say in 1, 2, 3 years time, having an idea, that's all you need is an idea for 2 or 3 years time, right? And creating a customer product map. I think that's kind of a piece that's possibly missing from you right now. You have your different industries, but just understanding the different levels they're at. So for anyone who's watching, that's what we covered in week 1. Week 2, we go deeper into the customer formula system to focus on your marketing, your sales pages that you have, and also discover new products that you could create very, very easily, either as a product or service, depending on what we discover on the customer formula system, and see what you're missing. And that is really powerful, because that is something that people can put into implementation straight away in week 2. So they can actually offer this to their clients that they possibly already have. Week 3, we review website, social media, and we work on the messaging. We work on the income plan and the new products, and we also work on people's sales pages and getting a consistent message with your mission statement, your vision, and actually getting that clear so that people actually understand very easily when they look at people's business websites and the message across social media exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And week 4, we continue with implementation, and we review your revenue plan that we have created for the year, your action list, and then I give you my 5-step formula for driving income throughout the year consistently. And we also talk about how you can create reoccurring income. So for anyone who's watching, that is Business Clarity Program that is starting on Monday, how to maximize your income in 4 weeks. So Donna, what is your biggest takeaway from this tonight?
Well, I know already that there is a great online business for me. I know that my business needs to move, certainly a percentage of it online. So I think it's great to go through the website and actually have someone constructively review the website. That's great, and it's going to be great to be able to build on that. Definitely getting clarity about my customer, and perhaps not just the customers that I'm working with at the moment, but customers that I could potentially also work with. And definitely one thing that definitely resonated with me is the fact that because I understand something doesn't mean that everybody understands it.
No, and especially one quick tip for you, and I find this with a lot of my clients, is that they use the language, the technical language. You need to use the Joe Soap language. Even though you understand the technical language, you need to use the Joe Soap language.
Yeah, and I think that's back to understanding your customer.
Yeah,
and understanding where they are in their journey, in their new business, or whether they're actually in the food industry already with lots of experience. And understanding what their needs are compared to the needs of someone who is perhaps just starting out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why I have this in week 2 of this program, because if you don't understand your customer, and it's funny because years ago when I started, I skipped through, I jollied over the customer part because I thought that's so boring. I just want to get on to making my products. And it's so funny because years later now, I know how important that part is. And actually having a system to actually work out who is your customer and actually get it out there very, very quickly. So yeah, okay. So I'm glad you got something out of tonight. And join me for my Saturday Night Live. It's not really Darcy, but hey,
Yeah.
I like to call
Martha, could I actually just ask you?
Yeah.
So in your program,
Yeah.
it's a 12 to 1 p.m. webinar session. And do people have to actually sit in on that session at that time?
No, they don't. The calls are going to be recorded, so you can listen back to them later. We will be, so you'll be getting the training that you will apply to your business. There'll be other videos that I'll have recorded and included in the program as well. And because, to be honest, this is a bit of a crazy price, to be honest. It's $197. It will be going up to $297, but to be honest, the full price will probably be more near, yeah, I'm not sure, maybe around 500 or possibly up to 1,000. I don't know, like if I'm going to work with a handful of small businesses together to actually completely transform their business, I'm not sure what price I'm going to put up to, but because it's my first time running this, I normally do this with clients. So I take a lot of clarity clients where I take them for a day, or part of the mastermind group. I do a lot of this work, and what I really found was that people were missing this nugget. So before I do anything with anyone, I had to always do this. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to put this out there as something that I just work with a lot of people. So I'm taking something that I already do and putting it into a 4-week process, basically. So that's why I'm offering it at $197 to basically work with a handful of people to create it. So you'll be getting a lot of, you'll be getting the calls recorded. You'll also be getting videos from me giving you direction over the 4 weeks on what you need to do. I'll be giving you probably one exercise to do each week. So let's say week 2 will be focusing on the customer, and I am going to give you a very interesting exercise to do that week. So it's going to be a bit of fun as well, and you'll learn from the other people in the group as well. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that actually. Yeah, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, it looks, you see, I suppose for me, if it was a set time on a Monday, I actually tend to work Mondays with other companies. So
okay, yeah. Well, Monday was the day that I created it. Now, because it will be a handful, I can't. What I probably will say to people is I will say, look, does this day suit? I probably can put in a second option, but I can't guarantee the day it'll be. We could possibly alternate it. Yeah, so it depends, to be honest, whatever is agreed in the group. It is going to be a small group, basically, because it's the first time that I've run it. I want the founding members basically to get the best benefit so that I can create the best product here. So yes, it depends what everyone decides, really. But what we can do is possibly a Q&A after you get your homework done at the end of the week. Yeah, so does that answer?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's great. And Martha, just the one other thing that I wanted to say is that, you know, when a lot of people start up their own business, especially in services or consultants, they usually start it up because they've been requested to do so by other companies, and other companies want to enlist their services. So sometimes they find themselves working. I know certainly for a lot of last year and the year before, I worked 7 days a week.
Really?
Yeah. And what happens then is you spend so much time working in your business, you don't get the time to work on your business. And the problem with that is you don't get the time to plan, you don't get the time to build the products that we're talking about now.
And I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad you've raised that point, because I really, especially this year, I have taken a lot of time out to do a lot of thinking around my own business, and it's vital. It's so vital. And to think about as well, Donna, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you working? And, you know, what is it doing for your life? Do you know what I mean? And what life do you want to create? And this is for anyone who watches this or watches the playback as well, that, you know, the whole point of working and doing what you like is to also live the life that you want, you know. So I think the importance of what you just said, taking the time out to work in your business, and also work on the business to deliver the life that you want. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's really, really important.
It's incredibly important.
Yeah, definitely. I think time for a break, Donna. No more 7-day working.
No, well, hopefully we won't be doing that in the future. But you know, but then, you know, I would guess that a lot of people starting out in business, you do put in long hours, you do put in the hard work, you're willing to sacrifice a lot to get your business started, but really, it's not really, it's not something that you can actually continue doing for a long time.
No, and the thing that I really want to save people time on here is, when I first started, I was the exact same. I killed myself. I have to say, I'm probably in recovery now from burnout. I did it. I worked crazy hours for years. And what I realize now is that I can teach people how to work smarter. And not, because I've been there. I've been down through burnout. It's not a nice place to be. There's a cost in your health, there's a cost in your family, there's a cost in everything, and I really don't want anyone to go through what I've gone through, to be honest. And I realized, luckily, that there is a smarter way of doing things. And especially, like, I mean, you know, I'm a mom, I've got 2 small girls. Like, I have worked my business so that I can actually be there for them. And you know, so if you actually stop and think about what you want in your life and how can you design your business to give you that, I think that's time worth taking out, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's why something like the program that you're offering is really good for people to actually invest in themselves straight away when they're thinking of starting a business. If they can do it before they actually start, it's terrific. If the longer that you leave it, actually, the less clear you become about
where you're going,
your planning, where you're going, your goals, setting out your vision. Definitely, I know if I was doing it, my journey again, I would definitely start by planning a hell of a lot more. And even though customers want your services and they're requesting that you come into the company and that you do the work, sometimes you just have to take a step back and actually plan so much more. And I think that would have certainly made my journey easier over the last year.
How long are you gone from? Is it just a year you're gone from your company?
Well, my company, I started my company in March, but I'm doing the food consultancy for actually nearly 5 years now.
Okay. So yeah, and there's no point looking back, but definitely you're now in a way better position of looking forward. But definitely, I would, exactly how you could have changed those 5 years. But the thing is as well, often, you know what, hindsight is incredible, but we can't go back, unfortunately. But I think it's very good advice for anyone else who is starting out, definitely.
And I think, you know, don't get me wrong, there's things that I definitely wouldn't change. And it's great to have worked with the companies that I've worked with. And
but probably what you mean is you could have worked a bit smarter, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think as well, what we often do is when we are setting up a business is we completely forget about ourselves, and it's all the business, the business, the business. And the thing is, we have to remember to live. You know,
take holidays occasionally.
Take holidays, yes, exactly. Take holidays and treat yourself and reward yourself for, you know, doing it. Like there was a girl today, actually. I have to give her a mention. I just thought she was so amazing. She was at this Enterprise Town, and young girl, she must have only been in her 20s. She has an Irish dancing academy. And next to me, I saw a Galway and Brussels. So I had to take a double take. And I said, what, Brussels? And she said, yeah, I fly over every second Thursday. She stays in a hostel and she teaches in Brussels. She said there's an incredible Irish contingency over there. And from the Parliament and that, I guess there's a lot of staff working there. And she just said she has, like, she's only in her early 20s. And I thought, what incredible initiative to go and do that, you know? So, I suppose it's about inspiration, it's about working smart, it's about loving yourself, minding yourself, and taking holidays. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So I'm going to let you go, lovey. It was lovely talking to you. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you in the program if it aligns with you. And for anyone else who's watching, I will share the link underneath. I think, hang on, I'm just going to go back. Yeah, I think, Donna, you were the only brave soul who came on Sunday night tonight. But thanks for joining me. At least I wasn't here chatting on my own.
Well, it's a pleasure joining you, Martha.
Thanks, Rita. You're as good. So I hope now you've a nice big glass of wine and something, maybe Graham Norton or something might be coming on soon, I'd say. So I'm just going to let you go, Donna. I'll send you out an email and hopefully we'll see you on the Clarish program.
Great. Thanks, Martha.
Lovely. All right.
Good night.
Night. Lovely. So thanks a million to Donna for joining me there tonight. I just think that was an incredible chat, really. And I think some really wise words from Donna there about basically your business, how we can be working so hard in our business and going for a very long time. And for anyone who's in the online stars, and I know I have been exceptionally quiet in the online stars because I was actually taking a little bit of a break. I'm getting a lot of things, I'm getting a lot of rebranding done in the background. And yeah, I did. I kind of took an unannounced break. Needed a little bit of time out to work on my own business. But I'll be coming back in. I'm still here in the background. So I've been busy actually on my mastermind group, the Shine Adventure, and took on a new assistant. Very, very happy with that. And so putting a lot of different things together in the background, and also spending a little time with my kids. So that has been lovely as well. And yeah, so feeling very blessed at the minute, really. So anyway, so for anyone who is interested in joining me in the Business Clarity program, Maximize Your Income in 4 weeks. And why I created this is because this is one of the big things that I see as a gap, that everyone who comes to me is missing this part, and I have to do this work with them because it's essential. If you don't have this work done, you can't go on to build your online business, to actually expand your business, to start working smarter if you don't actually know the foundations of your business. Yeah, it's going to be a great couple of weeks. I'm really excited because it's the first time I've ran this program. I've done this work in all my other parts of working with clients, but it's the first time I've actually physically ran the program. So whoever who joins are the founding members. You're going to get some love from me over the next 4 weeks. We're going to have fun. I'm going to give you as much help as I can in this course. And yeah, I really look forward to the clarity you're going to have at the end of it and how you can actually put the implementation into practice straight away, so that you can actually maximize your income now, not in a year's time, not in 5 years' time, not in 6 months' time when you've got all this stuff created. No, now. So how you can actually restructure your packages, your services, and your offers to put out something even better there. And how you can communicate that to your clients and get sales within the next couple of weeks. So as I said, if you're interested, I will put the link down below. But have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to go and have a cuppa. I might watch a movie. I'm watching Designated Survivor on Netflix at the moment. Anyone watching it? Comment down below. Yeah, that's it for me. Have a fantastic night. If you're watching this tomorrow or the next day, I hope you've had a nice weekend. And I will chat to you all very, very soon. All the best. Take care. Good night.